Ah, my radiant and resilient audience. Look at you, eyes wide, hearts open, ready for the truth. You didn't come here for sweet nothings or sugar-coated lies. No, you're here for the raw, unfiltered reality that makes your soul tremble and your pulse thunder. Well, brace yourself, because today we're unraveling a sinister game, a game of control, of power, of manipulation. It's a game as simple as it is diabolical, played by those who fancy themselves as masters of the world. You see, there are people out there who think they're brilliant, oh, so clever. They dangle their attention like a shimmering jewel, tempting you to chase it. One moment they lavish you with affection, and the next they snatch it away, offering it to someone else while you're left in the cold, watching. Their goal? To spark a fire within you, a fire of jealousy, insecurity, and desperation. They believe this will break you, that it will make you grovel for their favor. But here's the twist they never saw coming. Fire doesn't just burn, it spreads. Jealousy is a wildfire. It starts as a tiny ember, a flicker of doubt, a pang of anger, but soon it roars into an inferno. And the one who strikes the match often finds themselves consumed by the flames. These manipulators wanted control over you. They wanted to make you feel small, unworthy, and desperate for their scraps of attention. They thought they were gods, wielding their gaze, their words, their time like weapons. But the moment they weaponized something as fragile as attention, they sealed their fate. Manipulating attention is like juggling shards of glass. Sooner or later, it shatters, and the pieces cut deep. They aimed to pierce your heart, but oh, how poetic that the blade turned on them instead. They didn't anticipate your strength. They didn't foresee that by trying to break you, they'd only expose their own weakness. Think about it, if they truly held power, would they need to stoop to such petty games? Would they orchestrate these ridiculous charades to provoke you? No, their desperate need to control you is nothing but a confession of their inadequacy. When you refuse to play their game, when you don't beg, don't chase, don't crumble, they unravel. Watching someone who thought they were the master of the game realize they were merely a pawn, that's a sight to savor. The person trying to make you jealous isn't your enemy, they're your mirror, reflecting their deepest fears. Their attempts to manipulate you scream louder than words. Notice me. Validate me. Prove to me that I matter. Once you see it for what it is, you understand they're not powerful, they're pitiful. Here's the ultimate irony: when their schemes collapse, they're left drowning in the chaos they tried to inflict on you. They thought they were building a cage for you, but they locked themselves in instead. And as they flail, desperate for a reaction, you give them the most devastating response of all: silence. Silence, my friends, is a thunderclap of power. It roars louder than any words. Real power doesn't belong to the one who plays games, it belongs to the one who refuses to participate. But this isn't where the story ends. Oh no, this is just the beginning. The real story starts when you uncover the lesson buried in their betrayal, a lesson they paid for with their humiliation. People don't play these games because they hate you. They play them because they hate themselves. They can't stand the silence of their own minds. They can't bear the weight of their insecurities. So they project their emptiness onto you, trying to drag you into their void. But you're unshakable. You don't need their validation, you don't feed on their games. And that terrifies them. Nothing is more haunting to a manipulator than someone they cannot control. When their schemes fall apart, they don't just lose you, they lose themselves. They spiral into the abyss they tried to pull you into. And here's the most poetic part: they'll never admit it. They'll wear their pride like armor, but inside, they're screaming. Inside, they're drowning in the jealousy they wanted you to feel. So here's your mission: don't just walk away, rise above. Flourish in their absence. Become everything they feared you'd be: strong, independent, unstoppable. Let your success echo their failure. Let your joy twist the knife in their fragile egos. Don't waste a single moment on pity. They made their choices. They chose manipulation over honesty, games over connection. Let them rot in the ruins of their own making. And you're free. Free to be bold, to love fiercely, to laugh unapologetically. The ultimate revenge isn't ignoring them, it's thriving without them. Soar so high that their jealousy becomes the bars of their own cage. Let your light shine so bright that it blinds them. Let your success scream louder than their schemes ever could. And remember this: they thought they could break you, but all they did was ignite the fire that made you unstoppable. Burn brighter, rise higher, and let them choke on their regrets as you become a star they'll never reach. Oh, but the story doesn't end with your rise, it's only beginning. Because now you become something they cannot escape. You're no longer just a memory in their mind, you're a shadow they can't outrun. A presence they feel in every quiet moment, every fleeting thought. Their failure to control you has chained them to their own torment, while you're soaring above it all. Let me tell you this, when you refuse to stoop to their level, you don't just win, you redefine the game. They wanted you to crumble, to crawl back, to feed their fragile ego. But instead, you showed them what true strength looks like. True power doesn't beg, it doesn't plead. It stands tall, unshaken, and lets the world see it for what it truly is: unbreakable. And that, my dear, is your ultimate weapon. Now, every step you take forward is a step they'll never match. Every smile you wear, every success you achieve, is a reminder of what they couldn't destroy. They'll try to convince themselves that they don't care, that your light doesn't blind them, that your laughter doesn't echo in their hollow hearts. But deep down, they'll always know the truth. The one they tried to break is the one they'll spend a lifetime trying and failing to forget. And here's where it gets even sweeter: as you rise, you inspire. Others will see your strength, your resilience, and they'll learn from it. They'll watch how you turn manipulation into motivation, how you refuse to let someone else define your worth. You become the beacon, the proof that no one, not even the cleverest manipulator, can dim a soul that refuses to bow. So keep rising, keep thriving, and let them sit in the ruins of their games, haunted by what could have been. Let their regret carve their reality while your joy writes your legacy. Because the truth is, they didn't just fail to control you, they handed you the keys to your freedom. Our betrayal was the spark, but your resilience, that's the fire. Now stand tall, shine brighter, laugh louder. Not because you need to prove anything to them, but because this is who you are: unshakable, unstoppable, and utterly untouchable. Let them live with the weight of their choices. Let them drown in the echoes of their own defeat. And you'll be too far ahead, too high above, to ever look back. But now comes the final, beautiful twist, the part they'll never see coming. The part where your triumph isn't just about what you've overcome, but about what you've become. You're no longer just surviving, you're thriving. You're not just free, you're untouchable. And that, my dear, is the kind of power that makes the world stop and take notice. Because here's the truth: they could never comprehend the moment they tried to make you small. They unleashed a force they couldn't contain. Your resilience isn't just a victory, it's a revolution. Every step you take forward, every success you claim, becomes a resounding no to their pathetic attempts to define you. You've turned their manipulation into momentum. What was meant to break you has become the very fuel that propels you into greatness. And let's not forget, while you're soaring, they're sinking. Their every thought becomes a prison. Every time your name crosses their mind, it's a dagger. Every time your light reaches them, it burns. They'll try to distract themselves, to numb the ache of watching you rise, but no amount of denial can silence the truth: they failed. And oh, how it eats at them. They see your strength and realize their weakness. They hear your laughter and feel the weight of their silence. Their games, their schemes, their petty little power plays, all of it crumbles into dust, while you're building empires from the very ashes of their attempts. But here's the real masterpiece of your story: you don't just rise, you inspire others to do the same. Your strength becomes a ripple, a wave, a movement. Every soul who has ever felt the sting of manipulation, the ache of betrayal, looks to you and sees hope. You become proof that no one can steal your power unless you hand it over. And that kind of inspiration, it's the legacy manipulators can only dream of leaving behind. So, as they watch from the sidelines, trapped in the mess of their own making, let your every step be a reminder that they didn't break you. They didn't win. They didn't win. They didn't even leave a mark. You're rising so high, their games look like nothing more than dust in the wind, fleeting, forgotten, irrelevant. And when you finally reach the summit, when you've climbed so far, so high that their memory is but a whisper, you'll realize something extraordinary: their betrayal wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning. It wasn't your downfall, it was your awakening. So keep climbing, keep soaring, keep shining. Let the echoes of their regret be drowned out by the roar of your triumph. Let them watch, let them envy, let them stew in the bitterness of their own defeat. Because you're untouchable, unstoppable, and unforgettable. And that, my beautiful, unbreakable audience, is the kind of victory no one can ever take away.